welcome to day 2 of the Eleague Csgo Invitational. We are live at the Turner Studios in Atlanta, Georgia, and we got a pretty awesome packed house today to watch some great Counter-Strike be played by 4 incredible teams, and it is a pleasure to be here, folks. I'm Golden Boy, your host. Joining me, you got Moses and Sean Gears. Gentlemen, we got a crowder today. It's not just us anymore, so you gotta behave, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Why me?
I don't know. I'm specifically pointing at you. You're still dealing with -9 in the
yeah, it's a little bit rough, but not as rough as, you know, Stralis not being here, but that's good for the Faze fan next to him, right?
Yeah. We just started. You know, the show just started, and you're already bringing the thunder. I like to hear that. Okay, well, here's the deal, folks. We got some great teams here. You know, Faze, Big, you know, not a Stralis. You also have Complexity and Cloud9. They're going to be competing against one another for the lion's share of a decent amount of money. And so far, we had some great games take place yesterday. And let's actually go ahead and take a look at how day 1 all wrapped up. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Eleague Csgo Invitational. We're here in Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, bearded to lose, but play like you're gonna win.
Cloud9 are looking rather good at the moment.
Desperate 4th round for Faze Clan.
Ooh, use a tan. Surely that will seal the fate here of Cloud9. A 2 versus 5 retake on the B1 side.
Just never count them out, Faze Clan. That is a Faze Clan you want to see, coming back from 3 to 12, and now it's overtime. What the hell is that? And they will finally take Overpass, the first map of this series.
Oh yeah, by the way, we should have won like 16-0.
Onto a trend, he is sandwiched. There's the first one, but he can't get a second. And there is the match for Cloud9. Despite the comeback attempts from Faze Clan, it is a 2-0 for Cloud9.
Once again.
Oh, not again.
Oh, here we go.
It's time for the CSGO Trivia Challenge.
We are measuring the distance between Santeris's head and his monitor. So without further ado, let's pull up the answers. Moses' head.
Moses has a massive head. I mean, look at the size of this thing.
It's good looking, though.
Bad for his mother. Okay, let's
go. I've been told it's a good shape.
I like your reaction. Look at the size of the thing. You reminded me of like when they first see the Death Star in Star Wars.
Look at the head. Look at that. It's just amazing. The cranium of Moses. Not only
I didn't know there was going to be close-ups. I would have polished it today.
And we are about to start this game on Overpass.
Today, we fight for honor, and we will not fear the enemy.
For a 2v1, where's the trade at? Def is close. The 1v1 here as he goes for it. Down to 12. Zantares gets the quad kill to secure the round.
Shazam, you only left 1 versus 3. And there it is, smooth to finish things off. It will be big to take Overpass, the first map in this best of 3 series. 10 rounds in a row for Big after a good start for Complexity. Big just took control of that one.
Up to Smeardet now in the 1 versus 3. Just 2 players left to go as he goes for the wide shots. It connects. One more to find, and he's good. 15-6, Big.
I felt like also on Cash we just break them.
And there you have it. The schedule for today. You're going to have Cloud9 versus Big, but first, it's going to be Faze going up against Complexity. Question I think is on everyone's mind. Did Moses polish his head?
No, my best part about that video, the best part is when they mentioned Moses' big head. Everyone from the crowd turns around, just nods in agreement. Just
feels bad, man.
The things I get paid for.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel worth it sometimes.
It was crazy because you're sitting next to me, and I have like a massive like head.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Fat head, you know, like it's not very. It's like an egg, you know. But it's look at it. There's a little zoom in there too. Look at the size of this. Now compare it to Moses.
That is a grade egg.
Feel bad
grade
for my
A
mother.
Organic, farm fresh egg.
Look at that.
That's good.
Wonderful. Anyway, enough of that one. Speaking of whatever the hell that was, we want to hear from you guys on the internet. Then nothing can go wrong here. We are calling this the meme-off. It wasn't up to me. We tried very hard, but production was very adamant on calling this the meme-off. So we want you guys to have some fun and do some funny things and make some funny pictures. Please just be PG. Be mindful. We have
Focus
children in the audience.
Golden Boy.
This is from Eleague. So this is like the standard that I would like everyone to kind of, you know, I mean, very high production value here, right? And then some of our viewers.
That's funny.
Who did it better?
It's edgy.
Who did it better? Which one was better?
I liked the first one. It was good.
Hey, I'm gonna go with the
family
Eleague.
You like the Eleague one? Ooh.
Yeah. It's
All right.
clever.
Well, sorry,
It's
Jesse Barger. Moses and Sean don't like your work. So That's a tough
That's
pill
how
to
it always
swallow.
works, isn't it?
No gold star for you.
So we want to hear from you guys as well. Maybe try this one out. What's Xanteris' screen sees? Wait, screen sees. I can't speak English. And Xanteris has arrived. Okay. Oh man, that's.
What's that from? I don't recognize.
I think that's from Ice Age. I'm almost certain that's. Oh, maybe I could be wrong.
Never saw that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know these.
As a Lantaras fan, give me the second one.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to see. Okay, and then here's our last one. So again, this is the standards, right? Can Fires Moses keep his streak going? Big brain Moses over here.
It's the way every production meeting when they say these things, I know I'm going to be the focus of it.
Oh,
there we are again.
That's the
Why not?
winner.
Yeah, that one's not bad.
that actually is pretty good. So which one are you going to vote for?
I'm going for the second one.
Second one?
Yeah, the second one.
I also just feel like you don't want to give the Eleague guys the satisfaction of winning.
Yeah, I don't like them. That's the first of the day. That's going to get better as we go on, I feel.
Yeah. So we want to hear from you. Okay? Make sure you get out there, make some funny things, and
Maybe
that's going to do it.
Sean's head into a pencil.
Yes.
Leave me alone. Leave me out of this, okay?
All right, well, folks, now it's time to get into the action. So that means it is our countdown to game time. Thanks to Domino's. And we're going to have Faze, Complexity going toe-to-toe against one another in this lower bracket matchup. And I guess, just kind of want to start things off, just some initial thoughts on this Faze team, fellas. It was a kind of an interesting day for them yesterday.
Yeah, they started off really flat-footed yesterday, going down, I think, 0-5 in both maps, losing both pistols, all the pistols yesterday. So I think if we see a different Faze today where they get that economy behind them early, they could run away with things today.
The hard part was watching them, the first game when they went down and then made that comeback. You're like, all right, maybe they just kind of started slow. Maybe they didn't get as much warm-up as they should have had. But then it happened again in the second map, and you're just kind of scratching your head. I think FaZe has a lot of questions to answer. Obviously, still a very dangerous team, starting off with a lighter opponent than they did in Cloud9 yesterday. And I think that's going to be the most helpful to them. Get some confidence under the belt.
Yeah, well, for those who may not know, let's take a look at the roster real quick here and I'll highlight some of the players that have been, kind of performing on this team here. They have a new addition with Adren, Guardian, of course, consistently plays very well. This is a very solid roster here with tons of talent. They just got to put the pieces together.
And they need to figure out, that's the big one. That's the job that Yanko's going to have as the coach coming in, who you don't see picture the new addition in that role. Adren, obviously, the other one that have the big question marks. But more than anything, you just want to get the sense that this team is going to be some kind of a cohesive unit. It still kind of feels like they're a little bit disjointed and relying on themselves to kind of make plays, needing to figure out how to work together properly. Yeah,
and I actually thought their new pickup Adren played pretty well yesterday, but Rain, on the other hand, he's been struggling on that CT side Mirage, and with Mirage being the go-to pick of FaZe, I mean, he's going to need to come back into that form we saw in early 2018.
He was nasty.
Yeah,
yes.
Well, and, and also, I mean, we kind of discussed the games yesterday and how weird they were, and we actually have like a great description of how these games went yesterday through the eyes of Nico, as a matter of fact. All moments.
Oh, my goodness.
Sadness. Frustration.
And this is the other
despair.
This is the other reason why he's such a good player. Is it's so much fun to watch these expressions.
Confusion.
It's like the 7 stages of
elation and a little bit of a sense of pat there.
He's just sitting there thinking, what would Kerrigan do?
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't see that one.
You're going to need your brain.
Self-harm.
Oh. That screen almost got a right-hander. That would have been good.
I would have pitched in for a new one. If that had happened.
To be fair, that was when Zelsus had that whip op shot.
Yeah.
I think we would have all had that right.
Yeah, we all would have been really frustrated.
Yeah. I mean, I think the tech crew was standing by with an extra monitor. Just in case. Maybe today, though, is going to be a little different.
New hoodie.
New hoodie. Yeah, exactly.
Red.
Yeah,
New
maybe
hoodie, new Nico.
It's all red, right? Maybe that's going to be the thing. All right, well, we got the one and only Yankos over at the stage with Sue to get his thoughts and maybe reflect on some of Nico's reactions.
Definitely got a chuckle out of Yanko there, but Yanko, always a pleasure to speak with you. The team is coming off of a very close 2-0 loss against Cloud9. Coming into today, what is the mindset and mentality looking like?
I think we're just focused on starting off a bit better. We lost all 4 pistols yesterday. Losing 9-0 on CT side of Overpass, definitely not something you want to see. But, on the contrary, the comebacks were good. We were even supposed to win that Overpass game straight up. We messed up the 3v2 a little bit, so it would have been 16-14 otherwise. So it just, starting off fresh today, it's a different opponent, different map pool as well, and just still looking at how we set things up, figuring it out, is everything set up properly so that we can get in the best possible shape for the major.
I know you just talked about it a little bit right now, but elaborate a little bit more on what happened yesterday, because there were a lot of great moments to take away, but a lot not so great moments. 14-3 on Overpass, 14-6 on Mirage. You guys were able to come back both times to make it 2 overtime 15-15. So break down the highs and lows of both of those maps for us.
Yeah, to be honest, rewatching that game, I didn't really feel like we were making some massive mistakes. I just think Cloud9 played really solid when they were winning the game, and then once we started playing a bit better, again, just some really good calls, really good execution by the guys. Unfortunately, we make it all the way into overtime, and then the overtimes were also pretty straightforward for Cloud9. So again, have to work a bit more on having maybe a bit more depth. But in overtimes, it's always weird. You've done everything. You already played 30 rounds. You want to try and switch things up a little bit, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, hopefully it'll go a little bit better today, as it's do or die time against Complexity. Yesterday when I spoke to Gapi, he mentioned that with this current roster, with the addition of Nothing and Ricky, he feels like this roster feels a little bit more experienced. So going up against them, are there any concerns there?
Not really concerns, I mean, they're definitely more experienced with adding Jordan into the team. But for us, we just come into every game feeling like we are the favorite and that we need to, do our job, and that if we manage to do that, we should come out on top. But, you cannot underestimate everyone. We still are figuring out a lot of things ourselves. So I think it's going to be interesting, but I do expect us to come out on top.
Well, thank you very much, as always, Janko. Best of luck in this match. Today, let's head back to Golden Boy.
Thank you so much, Sue, for that one. Always a pleasure to hear from Janko. And he had mentioned Complexity, so I think we just dive right into it and talk about this Complexity roster. Lots of experience on this team. They have, as I had mentioned with Faze, right? They have the potential. They just got to put the pieces together, and that's kind of the theme for a lot of the squads that are here in Atlanta.
Yeah, but you can have all the experience in the world, which is what this Complexity roster seems to have, but they're just not hitting their shots when I watch them play. Ricky, he's been a star fragger for his past teams in North America, but at this event and iBuyPower, he's come up flat. I think he's actually statistically the worst player after yesterday.
You nailed it yesterday when you asked us, like, who from Complexity has to step up, and then I looked down at the roster and I was like, I have no idea. Like, I don't know who the answer is. I don't know that one player that like, every team seems to have one player you can rely on to get their 20 to 25 frags every single game.
Yeah.
There's not someone in Complexity I look at and I say, no matter what happens, he's going to get his. That you can kind of base things around, and that's what kind of worries me. I mentioned yesterday, this team is going to take probably longest of all of them to get adjusted to these new roster additions and new players coming in. And I mean, the focus just has to be on the major in a month's time.
And they definitely need to get some adjustments going, because yesterday, while we may have some highlights, there are more like lowlights, unfortunately, because it was just not looking good at all in that matchup against Big. I mean, Centeris and Gabi were just having their way with Cole, and I was a little shocked to see that was the case.
With players like Xantares and Tapson on this big team, I feel like it goes under the radar that Gabi has sneakily become a very good fragging in-game leader in this scene. And I mean, they have a lot of skill, a lot of players who can outduel you there. And Big, they're also a tactical team, so they can beat you in a lot of different ways. Yeah,
and Jason refuses to mention Smooya, my boy who had the #1 stats yesterday. He just won't start the chant.
No, we're going to get it.
I like Smooya. I don't like the chant.
We're going to get it at least one time.
Can we all be okay with that?
At least one time. Well, I asked the question yesterday, and we have to take a look at tonight's X Factor presented by HyperX. And for this one, all eyes are going to be on Stanislaw. And one of the reasons why was he started off that game, I believe it was in, I want to say Mirage? No, I'm sorry, not Mirage. Cash. Started off Cash, pistol round, 1v4. Emmy was absolutely filthy. I mean, just going right through this and tearing apart Big. And even this last shot right here, so calm, so cool, so collected, and then pop.
It's like a carnival game, he pops up. Yeah, I mean, Stanislaw has just been very, very good for a lot of his teams, and he's one of those in-game leaders who he realizes there's a point in every single round where someone's got to make a play, and it feels like a lot of times it's him. Just he gets that understanding and he goes for it. So he's had a tough career at different points, but I think he's turned into a very solid player.
No, Stanislaw is an excellent fragging in-game leader, but the problem is when you need strats on the Complexity side to win, but then you need your in-game leader to step up. That's a very hard spot he finds himself in.
You know all about that one, don't you?
Not about the fragging part.
But it is going to be a tall task, without a doubt, for Complexity to take on this Faze team. But let's jump into the map picks and bans now and see what we'll be playing on for game 1.
If I'm Complexity, I'm getting really weird during this veto phase, and I don't think they're going to realize it, but I'm trying to do like a nuke. I'm trying to do the crazy things like, you know, a train and overpass. I'm getting off the standard maps that we see.
I do like the idea of Complexity picking train just because, you know, they have a lot of footage from iBuyPower. But actually, Faze picks train, which is interesting because we saw them lose twice the Ghost
to
at
Ghost,
iBuyPower.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're Complexity and you wanted to beat them on train, you're probably looking at those demos last night, noticing some weaknesses. Cache is going to be in there, which again, that's going to be a decent map for Faze, no matter how prepared they are on it. That's one of those maps you can let the skill fly. Dust 2 taken out. So, I mean, this is, outside of train so far, this has been pretty standard, I'd say.
Yeah, and we haven't really seen much Faze on Inferno yet historically, so they're obviously going to side with Overpass. After that major loss to Cloud9, they seem to stray from Inferno.
Yeah, they don't want to touch it, do they? It's also a map, I think, where like you kind of know the standard stuff. And I think that there's going to be a decent amount of prep for the major coming up where teams are trying to kind of solidify some new maps they want to add into their pool. But Train, Cache, Overpass, those are 3 maps we don't normally see in a series.
I'm really surprised to see Complexity go back to that Cache pick after yesterday. It did look like they had a game plan. But once your game plan dies down, they had nothing at that point. You know, their game plan got them to 5-0, it felt like, and then that's it.
Well, it's also, I mean, we mentioned it, and we even saw it as we highlighted how badly they were just getting, you know, rolled over on some of those maps. No matter what your game plan is, if you're not hitting your shots, you're not fragging, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, well, guys, is getting some predictions. Who do you think is going to take this one?
I'm going to have to side with Faze.
I'm not even going to feel bad about it. I'm going with Faze as well. I think this is going to be a nice start to the day for them to get them going into the future.
Before Alex, you had a lot of things to say about how you supported your boy yesterday. You are your Complexity backer.
Wow.
Go ahead,
doing this
Alex.
right now?
What's your prediction?
I really want to win the pick competition, so I went with Faze.
Oh.
Okay, and I'm not, listen, I am a Complexity fan, yes, through and through, big fan of nothing, but, you know, hey, at the end of the day, right, we got to live in the real world here, and right now, Faze looking really good.
Nothing.
Oh, oof. Ouch. I like that one. That one's been used, though, like numerous times. You know, I mean, you know, it's all right, though. All right, well, we also want to know from you guys in the Twitch chat as well. We put a lot of stock in the knowledge that you all bring to the table, and it seems like they all agree. Faze, 71%. Cole, 29%. Complexity could upset Faze here, but it is going to be very, very difficult for them to do so. And I'm really looking forward to this one. It's going to be a good game, though. So now it's time to send it over to your incredible casters. We have Bardolph and DDK. And DDK is looking like he's about to sell me some real estate.
Boost Mobile Casting Desk. What's your best pitch, Dan?
I don't know, that's your thing, isn't it? That was your past life.
It was, yeah, but we're trying to get a pitch out of you. Come on.
Did I overdress or something? I feel, or did you underdress?
Never mind. Faze Clan. I've picked Faze Clan. I can't really do the...
It's like this, Jay. It's like, look, it's easy. See, look, like that. There you go.
Is that it?
Very nice. It's better than Yanko.
All right. Who did you go for in this one?
Definitely Faze. I think it's an underdog story for Complexity. They're yet to kind of prove with this lineup that they can have a strong performance. And against the likes of Faze, I think at the moment it's just there's a lot of unknowns being thrown around, and so you just have to judge it on the quality that we know of the individuals. However, I think the point was made pretty accurately that has also been up to question when it comes to Faze at the moment. See, there you go. Nico's got it.
Good spirits. Marvelous stuff.
He's got that Faze up.
It's nice to see him in jolly spirits. Obviously, he's an emotional player, as you saw him punching himself in the head yesterday. Hopefully, we won't have any self-abuse today, any self-harm, as we start off this game of Train. Faze will be the aggressors to start off with. So let's see what they have in store. Nico has the only grenades, the Molotov and the smoke grenade. Everybody else with Kevlar for Faze Clan.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these flashbangs play out for Ricky. This is often a very comfortable map for Complexity. We'll see Fazo just charging down the ramp. They're all 5 just going for it, trying to clear space, trying to find some heads, and they should be able to get a bomb plant. But the CTs, they're kind of stuck all 4 in the choke point here. This is not a good look for them.
Ricky taken out on the upper area of the very early on 4-on-4. The numbers forcing their way through the smoke grenade, running out of bullets are the T's, and the frags will go each way, 3 versus 2 in favor of Faze Clan, as they have both sides of the bomb area at the moment. Well, the B train. Down goes Stanislaw, leaving nothing alone, and he's going to get 1. He's got Guardian to find now. He's got 4 bullets. Gets time for the reload. Is there a kit for him to collect? Starting to move around. There's the kit. Can he draw out Guardian? He's not facing so I think it's already too late. At this point, it's about the bonus money, and it will be the pistol round going to Faze Clan.
Yeah, and just after, we've seen, I think yesterday on this very map, it was, Sean was breaking down a really elaborate, well, not actually a super elaborate, but a pretty strong pistol round from Faze where it wasn't just 5 rush down slope. And so there could have been perhaps some expectation of a round like that coming out of Complexity if they've done any research. But hey, Faze, they just threw a really simple play in there, 5 down slope. Sometimes that just works. And they're going to start one round up on the T side. Always a welcome beginning to train.
Oh. Ah, this guy, he tweeted me yesterday, but he has his email passwords stickied on his monitor. So if you still have control of your email account, I'll be very impressed. 1-0 to FaZe Clan. We've got 4 Complexity players in the A site at the moment. Nothing's got 2 flashbangs, so we'll probably see Stanislaw and Ricky moving into A main, but as you can see, FaZe Clan are moving elsewhere. Low risk, high reward. That Zeus takes a lot of money away from the T's, not much in the name of kill bonus at all. But he's so close quarters, it has good impact. Can't see his shadow from his position. Something to be aware of, if you're standing on top of that train where Olaf Mice is looking, the CT, you would see the shadow. There's a nice kill. Exactly what he wanted. And Shazam's got to kill out this as well, so this is already an expensive round to face, but mostly USPs in a P2000. Don't expect too much more to be done. Guardian is a little vulnerable with, 18 HP now, so... Oh dear. Oh, that's nothing gone. Maybe they get one more kill out of this, but I think it's another round for FaZe.
Yeah, nothing actually had a kit, so there's a world where Ricky could actually just want to save that kit. But he has, as you say, is very unlikely to get too much damage from this. Try to keep the T's on the bomb side though, maybe. I mean, it's so unlikely, isn't it, that FaZe will lose much more in the way of players. So even do a bomb explosion if they're low. And oh, there you go, nice little double tap there from Nico to finish off the remainder of Complexity. And here's that lovely taser kill. Oh, yes. Very nice, very nice.
It's so strong. I don't think we see it often enough in an eco round like that, where you're so close quarters. There's a very high chance that you can do like $4,000 of damage to that player. So big value, cheap weapon. But now the expensive ones come out. Shazam with the AWP and no Kevlar. Complexity, very, very fond of the scopes on the AUG, and they will continue with 3. They are dedicated. A religious experience for them. Nothing sticking with the classic M4A4. Ricky going very aggressive, a push down Ivy. Stanislaw in tow as well. That's a lot of map control for them. I don't know if FaZe have heard these grenades.
It's always fun to see that deep control of Ivy, and that gives so much information to the CTs. They're actually holding 2 players there still. So that's very interesting. Finally falling back with Stan. And FaZe yet to really make a move. They got Olaf Meister doing his typical thing there. Pushing out to his namesake as the rest of his teammates go towards B. So lots of distraction towards that A-bomb side by 1 player, and it's opened up so much space. This is a really difficult retake because FaZe have already cleared a lot of position forwards on that inner bomb site.
Yeah, do they go for this? They have basically no map control whatsoever. They don't have any part of the B bomb site. They're stuck in CT spawn, so I think it's safe territory already. I was wondering how far they would go beyond CT spawn, really. I think they were looking for an opportunity, but it was swiftly taken away, so it will be safe territory for Complexity. Def saw, I think, 3 players coming down into B, tried to fall back because he was in B on his own. Outmaneuvered once again. Just like the pistol round, FaZe go beyond that connector position, so there's no way into the site. I mean, in the pistol, they managed to force their way and put it down to 1v1. Not on this occasion. 3-0 for FaZe. Do you need to see that, is the question.
Yeah, and it's interesting how much distraction Olaf Meister caused just by pushing out into the Olaf Meister position. It's very weird calling that, James, but it's named after him. And
Olaf and Olaf.
Yes. Yes, it's a fantastic start for FaZe already. Complexity, we've seen great things from them in the past when they've had a decent enough start on this CT side, but they're really struggling to get things going here. We'll see that's, of course, saved AWP and AUG in play, but it's going to be difficult. I mean, FaZe, let's see what their approach is, and they're starting off with 3 towards Ivy, so they can go for that outer splits, and it can be really strong. This is the first time they're really testing Ivy, looking for that initial pick. Stan is going to see some traffic towards Ivy, but he's going to back away. They don't know for sure how strong this push actually will be.
Shazam in battle sniper mode. He's got to try and find something early, looking towards main, but There's no one really to engage him there. Well, there was a Dren actually, and now he's dead. Now Shazam needs to reset the situation. Spotting plays towards Ivy. They've got to use their grenades, FaZe Clan, to get out of this choke point before Shazam posts up somewhere. He can be elevated on top of a train there, main, looking in that direction. Ricky going for a push as well. And now FaZe Clan have problems because they haven't really made it anywhere just yet. Olofmeister has been left at the CT end of Ivy, but beyond that, they've only got 2 players to rotate the bomb, and Complexity have gone deep in a number of different places.
Still 2 players on pistols there, and Olofmeister is actually... There's a world where he can actually push out further on that position and maybe make something happen, but that's a beautiful spot there for Def. Able to defend against Nico in T main, and that's a huge issue. Olofmeister will be trying to do what he can towards Ivy. Now he's been spotted, and he seems to know where Guardian is as well, and Guardian has the bombs. It really feels like they're out of options here, but at least they can try to go for some damage. Oh, nice shot from Shazam. Lovely stuff. Guardian as well, but it looks like Complexity will be able to take this one. No time for Guardian. But can he get some more kills in? Ooh, 2 players to challenge, and no. So they keep 4 alive. That's a big win.
Yeah, it's definitely a big focus for the CT side to keep an eye, if they have only 2 weapons, to keep an eye on those 2 players, because they have to find something. So Shazam has to take risks, resets the position. This is a great angle from Shazam. If you get smoked off as a CT and the Ts are trying to wrap, then you can use an elevated position to abuse them, as long as you know that you're safe from a main. So both Ricky and Shazam did what they needed to do as the main output for their team in that round. And here we are with a round on the board for Complexity.
Yeah, and picking up that second AWP is going to save so much money for Complexity. Really nice to have both Shaz and Ricky on those AWPs, both very strong snipers. And looks like FaZe may just try to go for a more simplistic option in this round. Just clearing space there towards inner. And Complexity still in the early rounds with 4 players towards the A-bomb site, leaving Ricky alone with that AWP at the back lines of B.
Yeah, he took a shot, got flashed off, rotated back to the arse end of connector, and now nothing is rotating in or trying to through the smoke, as is Stan. What will the reset approach be? Because once again, FaZe are charging through the bomb site. The focus is map control, not bomb planting. 2 players around connector, and Stan moves through the smokes, moving up the ladder, but he's got so many problems to his right-hand side. Even if he sees one, will he check for the other one? Surely not. Guardian will be the one to trade, though. They don't know Olof is there just yet. Does Shazam know that anybody is close to him? I don't think he does. Olofmeister so important, lurking as he often does. There's a spray. Guardian's gone down in the meantime. 2 CTs remain. Dev spotted in the high ground, no hiding for him. And that leaves Ricky alone at the back, maybe trying to save the AWP now. Olof's gone past him, so he might have to hide in plain sight. Maybe trying to punish the reload. Moves up, the no-scope is there. But again, it's a question of saving for Ricky. Misses the angle, now he's in the red, and he manages to get into connector. That's really surprising. So he may survive, but FaZe Clan have brought the game straight back.
Well, survival might not be guaranteed here. Ricky, can he keep himself out of harm's way? Looks like he might just be able to do so. So yes, that is a pretty brutal reset, but by the notion of the fact that they did manage to save or pick up an AWP and save some guns, pick up some more with those pistols.
He's got Christmas decorations. It is almost February. Sort yourself out, sort your life out.
That's a good point. I didn't notice that. Good catch, good catch. But yeah, Complexity, they still have something to work with. Use all the guns that they save. So Ricky can drop his AWP if he wants, buy up another one. They can still have a full buy here. It's just Def who hasn't got any monies and they can cover for that. So Complexity is pretty brutal to get reset there, but they've got some safety. But FaZe looking like they're a bit more consistent at the moment in getting these advantages.
4-1. Honestly, FaZe's executes into the B bomb site have been so strong. Again, they're just swarming. They're charging towards connector like it's a magnetic attraction. And Complexity are not able to... I mean, traditionally, you'll often play one person in the B bomb site, so they just can't get the personnel in the right place before FaZe are all over the shop, setting up the security barriers, the metal detectors. Ricky in the IV position. Now, often in this setup, you'd have a rifle here as well. Ricky's on his own. He's going to miss his first shot as well, as he did towards B ramp when the flash came in. Will he manage to escape? I'm not sure he will. The spray and the shots there from Guardian through the smoke. Really smart stuff from FaZe.
Yeah, that was a really nice catch there. I wasn't so sure that they would be able to do it, but they did. And now the forward smokes as a response here from Complexity towards T-Con and Popdog. I like that a lot. Getting nothing close. He's actually going to try to push through. That's Very interesting. Risky business. Goes for the white peak, finds the headshot on Adren. That's a big pickup, but at the same time, Faze unleashed the push towards Ivy, get a pick there as well. And now there's so much to worry about for Complexity.
Rain lurking above Pop Dog. He could make a play towards B. Def has got more and more aggressive. He was on higher B, so now the numbers are even lower. He might have to push. He might be compelled, and that might be something that Rain's looking for. In the meantime, we are there with Guardian. If he looks down, he might find a CT or two. Moving around the ladders near A main. Guardian taken out. There's Def on the high ground, just about to move away. As soon as he pulls his knife out, Rain takes his face off. But the bomb's moving away from Ivy, back towards T-spawn. 30 seconds on the clock. Nothing's position is going to be key. Even if they run above him, he's going to get the sound cues. Maybe Shazam can get a rotation while Rain is near connector.
What you can hear everything there. Just as you mentioned, he's going to try to go for the flank in. This is very dangerous though, because Shazam looking to connect that wall bang, won't happen, but they'll know exactly where he is, and Rain has a really strong spot here against Shazam. And yeah, it's just too good. It's just too good of a spot against him. And now it's down to nothing coming in from the back. And with no one to play off of, this flank is so much weaker. And so nothing's going to try to get out of there. Oh, just about spotted though. And now he's in trouble because they don't actually have a huge amount of money, the players left on Faze. They actually might decide to just give up on nothing here, keep their economy as safe as possible. Nothing will likely carry this AK into the next round, but his team has nothing now. They're going to get $1,900, and that's going to mean that they'll have around $2,000 per player. Not a good look for Complexity early in train, James.
No, it's not. They spent all their cash to try and bring things back in this round. Didn't quite work out for them. So this lead is likely to continue for Faze. A fantastic start to train for them. And again, for Complexity, it is looking rough. I think looking at some of the plays that Nothingers did, like in that smoke and the timing in which he peaks, that's a nice factor for Complexity to have. But as the desk said, I'm not sure if who to look for to have that person who can turn the heat up for the opponent and make a massive impact and turn the game around. You'd have to look at the snipers, I would say, with Shazam and Rikke. When they've had the money Complexity, they've gone for double AWPs. They've left Rikke alone, and he's very capable towards that B bomb site. But the flashbangs are on point for Faze. And again, even if he moves back for the retake, Faze just have too many people, too many personnel in that B bomb site, and Complexity just can't get a foot in. Nice. Do you know that reference?
I don't actually.
It's from PewDiePie. It's pretty cool though. That smile as well. That is how Mafia works. Right then, 5-1. We've got an AK on Nothing. So he's basically got to win the round for his team. He needs to find some frags before his team are eliminated so they can pick up the weapon, so they can swarm, so they can take liberties when FaZe Clan lose some personnel and get some map control. So these guys with the pistols, they don't have much to lose in terms of money, but they have to stay alive. That hasn't happened, as we can see. So it's going to be very difficult for Nothing. Bomb getting planted, and at this point, it's about saving that AK.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Sometimes you think, oh, let's just try to get some damage in, but I think the chance of him being able to get some damage is so slim that it would be really nice to just save that cash. And having an AK on the CT side always feels nice. As nice as an AUG, I don't know, but Complexity is a team that will buy 5 AUGs, and especially on train, it's really nice.
Some people have been complaining about the AUG, but I think it's still too early at this point because it just feels weird being killed by another weapon all the time.
Nice!
That is quite the upgrade
Wow.
for Nothing, indeed.
How has he done that? 2 kills and an AWP, that is not bad at all.
That's pretty damn good. An AWP can take you a long way, and that is certainly some money they need. Some nice anti-eco frags from Rain. There's a technical timeout at the moment called by Faze. Hopefully it will be resolved shortly. Won't say too much. We've got some headsets off. Yanko having a conversation with his team. Still weird to see Yanko without a pocket square. 6-1. How do you... Actually, no, we can't. We won't say.
Yes.
Yeah, we can't ask those questions.
Yes.
Yeah, so we can see Faze having some convos. Looking at the scoreboard, it's pretty average for both sides. No one's doing anything crazy just yet.
Yeah, it's cool to see that Rain's off to a good start. He was having a slow start yesterday, so it's nice to see that.
Yep.
And complexity. I'm pretty confident that they can get going on this map and find a groove. It's just, at which point? Obviously, we're 8 rounds in, and they're struggling.
How many logos does that boy have on his hoodie? That should be the next trivia question. Someone's got to go and count them.
There's no Counter-Strike to talk about, James. This is weird.
The resumes. The headsets are on again.
Nice. Okay, there we go. Usual programming has been restored.
Count the logos. Count the logos. I'm saying 80. 80 champions on the hoodie. What do you think?
It's got to be more. I'm going to go 200.
200?
200, man.
200 logos. Have you counted the logo? Have you counted? He must have counted. He looks like a guy who counts logos.
You're making me embarrassed, James.
You can't hide. You're on a camera. He's trying to hide. You can hide the hands. All right, I'm saying 80. I'm sticking with 80. Let us know at Eleague TV on Twitter how many logos does he have on his top.
Production accounting as we speak.
Maybe.
This will come back to haunt us later in the show for sure.
That's fine.
Ooh. I have an exam tomorrow, but I feel like there's not much studying going on.
Yeah,
there,
you're
James.
gonna fail your exam, bro.
Yeah, it's not.
But I'm glad you're failing it with us. So that's that's something. You can take
a good cause.
Tell your parents I failed, but I failed with Bardolph, so it's fine. They'll understand.
Did you fail school, James?
It depends on.
What does it depend on? You either failed or didn't fail, James.
Well, I'm alive, Dan, so I'll take that as pass.
Okay.
All right, so we've got headsets off again.
Oh, no.
So we won't say too much. Does anyone know what's going on? Could we get some feedback as to what the issue is? That would be fantastic. 6 to... Okay, it's a TeamSpeak issue. I prefer sign language myself. It actually, playing with Dan, it doesn't matter if TeamSpeak's working or not because he doesn't communicate either way. So something we're working on, but now it's Jason's problem since he's moved to America.
Well, I feel like it's improved, James.
Rumors, Dan.
Yeah, you can't just go with the same thing for like 4 years and just assume no improvement. I feel like this is unfair.
If you've played with Dan, you would assume no improvement.
Well, at least I can kill people, James.
I can kill people. Do you know what? I get like people only make highlights and post them on Reddit when I don't kill someone. The times where I do, there's no traction. The times where disaster happens, it's like it's mad viral.
My favorite is still the Hiko one where he's just like screaming at you, James.
Dude, I was playing on a laptop on hotel internet, man. That was difficult.
Oh yeah. Well, you did put yourself in that position. Let's be honest.
I did. Yeah.
I always was quite surprised, and like I would never do that. I need a setup, James. You got to have a setup. Considering how particular you are about keyboards, I'm surprised you would just bust out a laptop and play on dodgy internet.
I've given up on that now.
What has happened with the keyboards anyway? Is that over now? That phase of your life?
I've got Hiko making a keyboard now.
Oh really?
Yeah, he was. Do you
have people making them for you now?
He was making one for himself. He was putting switches in yesterday.
Nice.
I have one more keyboard to make next season in Santa Monica. So soon.
Is that the last one?
It's the last one. Yeah. Basically, I have one keyboard for every set that I like, which is about 12 to 13 sets. So the Scrabble set was my end game. That was just the final boss of keyboard sets.
The Scrabble keyboard's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Pretty cool.
So I have like one left to do, and then I'm done.
What's next? Chairs. Is that next? There's got to be something next. Something to.
What is that? Is he a? That is. It kind of looks like a marshmallow, to be honest. I would eat that. I would eat Moses' head. Well, I'd chew on it. I might not eat it, to be honest. Doesn't look healthy. Artificial preservatives, colouring.
Yeah.
Nice ears, Jason. He's got 3 ears.
Got a kind of BDSM thing going on there as well.
He's obviously got a trial version of Photoshop. Couldn't finish the whole job. Nice,
so you've got more
multitasking is a good sign. You're probably going to fail as well. But
yeah, more failure.
Multitasking is good. Multitasking is good, so that's a good start. That corner of the table looks sharp. You need to sand it. Just get a file and sand it down because it's going to mess your arms up.
Speaking of not letting go to holidays, he's going even farther back than Christmas, James. He's got a Halloween picture there.
I missed that one.
Carving pumpkins. Have you carved a pumpkin?
No. I'm too caveman. I can't carve. I can just smash.
You can stab.
I can smash.
Just stab.
Can't carve.
Stab some eye holes. Okay, looks like getting some headsets back on is usually a good sign.
We've got some. Is the drone using a wireless mouse? He is, isn't he?
Wireless mouse is the way. It is the way. I tried going back to wired. It's not It's not a thing, James. Anyway.
I don't like changing sensor though.
The thing is,
I tried 2 different wireless mice and went back to my old one because I just don't want to mess with sensors.
The thing is that you just build your own mouse. I've got some friends who did that, created their own mouse. You know,
What's his face does that in London? He mods mice for people. He puts like.
You mean Csgo?
Yeah, Csgo mods mice.
Yeah,
but I'm happy with my mouse.
It's pretty cool. Like you get you get the sensor that's like the best sensor you can find, and you find the best shape, and then you just put them together.
I have more issues with mouse pads than mice. We've got those Japanese mouse pads shipped. Those are cool. I gave mine to Sean Grills, and
those are really cool.
He's interested in those now.
They're really good.
These are new mice, which are like basically like girly colors. Because they did pink ones, light blue ones. I want a glossy mouse like that.
I've never seen.
I think it's probably better for like
the Bungie color like that as well.
For people oils.
People oils.
Human oils.
That is true, actually. That is. We go back to the conversation about adding grips to the mice. I actually think that's the one thing I've never experimented with. I'm going to start trying that.
Okay, it seems that we are back into the game. The team speaker's been repaired. Turned it off, turned it on, and now we are back. So again, it is 6-1 in favor of Faze. They've won the last 3 rounds in a row after resetting the 1 round of complexity, and they're back with the scopes complexity. Shazam with the AWP, I think, is going to have to be a very important player for complexity. They need the early frags. They need to cause some early problems for Faze Clan. They've got some early grenades going into main. 3 of them. I like the pacing between each one, but only Olaf Meister took damage, and it wasn't really what they would have liked.
Ricky up on that green train, seeing what he can find, and they're going to burst out into a E-box and start pressing onto that bomb site as quickly as they can. But there's some good positioning here. Look at nothing up high. Oh, Nico takes it down straight away. That's unfortunate. The position can be quite strong, but his teammates were in a bit slow, perhaps, as Def now wraps around from Connector, gets to drop onto Rain, but it's he who will drop as the 2v4 now is a situation, a very grim one for Complexity. Stan, though, finds the back of Adren, and maybe with that kill, there is a chance.
Slow flank from Rain in CT spawn. He's about to see Stanislaw, and that should... Oh, no, he's missed a shot. But they are sandwiched on the site itself, so the diffuse is still looking very, very difficult. Another shot missed, and opportunities lost for both teams, but it's still Faze with the advantage. And now from Connector will come Rain. Putting the York out too late. 7-1 for Faze Clan. It is looking pedestrian for them at the moment. Whether they swarm B, whether they swarm A, I think it's difficult to match the talents at the moment.
Yeah, the only time they actually struggled was when they went Ivy and with 3 players and tried to force their way in, couldn't get the early pick. And because they had such light presence in Team Main and Pop Dog, Complexity made a really smart move and pushed nothing forwards. And then at that point, it was just only like a one avenue that they could attack from. It just didn't work. But otherwise, as you say, as long as they just try to frag out, get into open spaces, it seems to just work. It's not a good sign for Complexity as they try to push and try to take control of Inner. Although that said, nothing has some success towards Ivy gets himself an AK-47 again.
Yeah, he's got to rotate pretty quickly though, because he is so far away from the remainder of Faze. Still being contained by the 2 players towards the bomb site. These CZs very dangerous. Trent's got the angle though. Stanislaw doesn't have the range. Now nothing's moving through Connector, but Rain and Guardian are moving down the ramp already, so he may get taken out very quickly indeed. Guardian spotting him now. Molotov starting to come in, and I don't think he will be able to get position. It's a familiar story on the B bomb site, and once again, it's a save situation. While they can buy in the next round Complexity, an AK is always better than an M4A4.
Yeah, absolutely, and Nothing's been doing great work with it. It's just, as you say, there's just such a struggle as soon as, and I think FaZe must have realized this at this point, that, you know what, if you try to play slow, methodical, pick-based gameplay, you know, that can work. There's an approach that can work on a map like Train. But every time they have gone into open spaces and they can DM a little bit, that's actually worked out incredibly well for them. Well, 100% consistent, I think. So Raquel will try to do what he can with the P250, but the ramp is there. Oh, can't get any kills. That's such a shame for him. 8-1, FaZe clean things up. It's looking very smooth for them at the moment. Some nice entries against the pistols.
It's a formality at present. There's Adren, one of my favorite players. Always like to see him on the server. It was always crazy some years ago. The reason I call him the Clutch King with 100 ping is because he used to play from very, very far away. with literally 100 ping in professional matches, and he would still mangle people, which is why he gets my utmost respect. Back on the buy are Complexity. 3 players now moving into A rather than 4. Def and Shazam making their way towards B. So it's all changed. It used to be Ricky on his own. So they've really changed things up here, trying to surprise FaZe Clan perhaps.
Fire. No peek there for Shazam. Oh, gotta be so careful with that one. That's a lot of damage onto Def. And, oh, Rain, what an angle there, jumping up onto the box. I did not expect that, and it seemed like Shazam didn't either. Very nice moves, and considering how low Def is as well, this starts to get really scary because Complexity have to fall back. They've got to tighten up their defense in lieu of the fact that they've just now lost a player. So it's very, very risky because the Olofmeister's looking for that opportunity to get out there, calling what he can hear, and FaZe will now start to maneuver for that split to the outer bomb site.
Foloff had held that angle. Looks like a double peek is maybe on the way. Oh, Ricky backing off, and somehow they get a kill out of that. The lurker taken out. Nothing seems interested in having a look towards B again. They need to be active. They need to be preemptive. Try and catch FaZe before they can collapse onto one of these sites, and they start to try and do that towards the A-bomb. Ricky spots one up top. Can't get anything done, but Stanislaus there to trade. That's mate, and Connector will go down along with Stanislaus, and that might just be the round. Nothing with an AWP, very rare choice for him, on the B-bomb site. Another situation where he likely has to save.
Yeah, and it's just that situation again. I think, you know, upon Olofmeister seeing 2 players at Ivy, and considering the other 4 players for FaZe were just ready at T-Con and Popdog, they know they can get out to E-Box for free. And again, that just seems to be an issue because every time FaZe are out there, they are winning the majority of their fights. And Complexity need to be able to hold that better. That's one of the demoralizing things. It's like a fundamental aspect of Train. You've got to be able to hold those big pushes. And so far, it hasn't worked out too well. But it does look like Nothing's able to hold on to this AWP. So great work from him. Nothing will be able to drop that to Shazam at the beginning of the next round. And they do have enough to scrape together a bye.
9-1 for FaZe Clan. Complexity running out of rounds to lose in this first half. There we go. Didn't even have to wake him up. He knew. He could feel it. The ears pricking. Welcome back, sir. Hope the dream was nice. Dream of me next time. Think of my voice. It'll be a nightmare. You'll be back very soon indeed. 9-1 for FaZe. Complexity, again, they've got an AWP saved, and they've got a French gun on Def. Less Augs, more M4A4s. Nothing with a flashbang play towards Ivy. He will be left in situ. No, he won't. I'll just drop a smoke grenade. The T's don't know what's behind that. And in the meantime, they'll send the first one towards A main. This is the kind of play we need from Complexity. Is it too little, too late, though?
Yeah, Ricky's kind of out in the open here now. This other first series being in trouble. Good damage onto Adren though. See if his teammates can follow up. Def up on the blue train as well, doing damage. The double from him and the follow-up from Shazam. That's much more like it. The first time Complexity really holding these forward positions, as you mentioned, and it works. It works. Shazam, he nails him.
That was disgusting. Well, again, we have... The thing is, it's that's the kind of activity you need from Complexity, but of course it comes with risk, and they need to pick the... They need to hope that they make the right decisions, the right choices, and end up in the right places based on what FaZe is doing at the same time. That was a really nice round from them. But that's only the second round on the board. 6-9 is still possible for Complexity, so there is a chance to have a market improvement. It'll start now. Back on the Augs immediately. Ricky, Def, and Stanislaus, 3 Musketeers. Nothing with the pop play towards Ivy once again. FaZe are expectant, refusing to be smoked off on this occasion. HE wasn't too shabby. Flashes on either side, and he will at least keep these players entertained. He doesn't know that there's an AWP there just yet. Manages to escape. How did he get that kill? He knows there's a rifler there as well. The deep HE may send the AWP away. In the meantime, we've got 2 players moving towards the B bomb site where Shazam waits.
That's a big play from Nothing. The wide peak, and Shazam, he's going to not be able to hit that one. That's unfortunate. How many more chances does he get? That's 1, but there's the trade. Rain will charge up sidewalk now as he does hear these CTs filing out of connector, and he's going to go back inside. They can go to the outside. They can lock them away now, just keep them in the prison that is the B-bomb site. Rain, the guardian of that connector position as his teammates can come down Popdog now. This is dirty stuff, James.
He has really outmaneuvered them. Someone's got to look for information. Stanislaw was near Ivy this entire time, moving towards the A bomb train now as he realizes that perhaps a player has circumvented a position. A crouch peek allows the headshot. 35 seconds now. Where does the bomb go? Faze has been slow and Popdog with their other two players. Adren moving towards the site. Olofmeister popping out with the bomb, showing the bomb. Running distraction, but where is Adren? Complexity very well. They've seen him now. They have the information. 20 seconds left. They're starting to flank. 3 players around connected for Complexity. Waiting for them to advance. It looks like we might see round number 3 here for Cole. Adren, how much damage can he do? No more. 4 players survive for Complexity. No plan for Faze. Great round for the boys in blue.
I wonder if Faze overestimated Complexity to have maybe keep like one more player towards A or something, because they were very timid going in to help Rain as he was in that very forward position by Connector. As you say, a little bit slow out of Popdog, but that's okay for Complexity. They are up to 3 rounds now, so they're starting to recover. And finally, Faze, they don't really have a buy to offer up in this round, so this should be another pickup for Complexity as they get themselves further into a more workable amount of rounds as they later move into that second half. And this is a good recovery. Ready with the smoke there, Nico. Can't underestimate Faze. 2 Deagles, but can never underestimate them with those Deagles. Okay, trying to keep control. That's beautiful, isn't it?
Now, Faze needs to try and get out of this choke point, try to swarm, but it's not going to be very easy, of course, in this situation. There it is. Looking good now. So much better. A very fast turnaround from Complexity. Their eyes on 6 rounds. They've got 4 so far. Faze are on the buy once again. Do they go back to Old Faithful and just storm the B bomb site? I don't know if they recognize that. In some rounds, there have been 2 players early. That would be very interesting to see. They did it on the pistol, and I think the first buy versus buy. Do they go back there now to previous success? It's been a while. 2 snipers once again for Complexity, who've also been mixing things up. Ricky's gone from the B bomb site to the A bomb site. He's back to B. This time they've got 3 to B, so it seems Complexity are thinking the same thing that I was.
Very much in the heads of the enemies. And oh, Guardian, he's good for 2. That is outrageous stuff. Do they realize there's another player lurking around? Because Shazam, he's got big plays to make here. If they do not realize he's here. Oh, he's been spotted though, gets the shot still, but can he keep himself alive? Guardian goes down, trying to anticipate the back off from Shazam there, but it'll be Adren instead to take down Nothing, who's aggressive. That was too opposite for Complexity to try to take control back.
Faze getting out of the choke point of Popdog, but E-box where one player is, and there we are. Stereo frags from Faze. Could have turned around for Complexity with the flank from Nothing. Complexity, they had the reads, they played the aggression, but Guardian is just too much sometimes.
That second shot is just incredible.
Absolutely bananas.
Well, the sleeves are up.
Complexity have the money for one more buy. We are into the last round of the first half now. Faze make it to double figures. It was 1 round for so long for Complexity that 4 rounds feels like a relief. 5 still possible. Good grenades for both sides. Jumping past the angle is Guardian. Little fear from him. Again, we've got aggression. Oh, you see somebody. Does Nico know he's been spotted? That might be why he stopped jumping. Double scope, and he's going to be blind to Olof's angle. Olof popping out the scopes, and Rain will clean up elsewhere. Having a great day today after some lackluster performances yesterday. 5 versus 2 all of a sudden. Stanislaw in the middle of A, surrounded by Faze clan members.
Yeah, this will be a very difficult one. Creeping out to E-box with that smoke. He may be able to make this work, but here comes the push. Lots of players challenging him at once. The triple peak, very difficult to deal with, and Def now gets himself a peek onto Olofmeister, but can't hit the mark. 11-4, very strong showing here from Faze, and it seemed as though Complexity just couldn't quite push their presence enough onto Faze. Faze just got so much space whenever they wanted it.
Yeah, and Rain pulled away from his teammates. 18 for 9 in that half. Guardian 13 for 7 behind him. Big performance from him. That's the Rain you like to see. And what of Complexity? They've got 4 rounds on the board. It did look absolutely disastrous, so I think that they can, well, they'll have to accept that now and move into the second half. Anew, refreshed, try to impose themselves. Party birthday. Well, happy birthday to you. Nice, clean, tidy OCD house. That's what we like to see. Polished floors, reflections, good stuff. All right then, let's see if Complexity can pull this one back. It's time to start the T side. Nothing's got a P250. Stanislaw with the grenades, as well as Shazam. So it seems they have a solid plan in mind.
It's going to have to be very solid indeed. It is always fun to see that much utility. Sometimes it feels like the Kevlar can be overrated. It depends on the round you want to play, but let's see how much they can do with it. Looks like they'll be lining up some there. Shazam throwing some from the dumpster. Flashbang out to get the T's out and towards E-Box. And oh, that Molotov's doing quite some damage there towards the bomb train. This is not bad. Looks like they should be able to guarantee the bomb plant, which is fantastic. Oh, Nico with a quick double headshot. That is a problem. And now it's just 2 left for Complexity.
Can quickly turn around to the pistol round, but now nothing. Has got 3 players to catch. He's got some added range with that P250. There's the first one. Nice headshot from him. Nice one from Olof as well. Faze win the pistol round. Bomb has been planted. That is both pistol rounds for Faze now. With 12-4 as a scoreline, I think they've got to be heavily favored now.
Yeah, it's hard to really look at it any other way. And I don't know, it's, Faze with that, a good start on the economy. It's going to take some pretty nasty set pieces from Complexity to break this, some good timings and coordination. And Faze will have a lot of the confidence, and they will be able to throw a lot of crazy aggressions at Complexity to throw them off if they'd like to on their CT side. Not to mention that the MP9s really give you some great aggressive options if you want to take forward positions like T main. That could be pretty valuable around like this for Faze.
Guardian and Olof Meister will be on the B bomb site. Rain and Nico moving towards Pop Dog. Looking to hold that down. Let's see what Complexity have in store. At what point will they reveal the weapons? Something they may want to conceal until the last possible moment. And it seems the idea is the burst towards B bomb site. All sound is cut. You can see Faze all over the place playing very close quarters. 2 SMGs, 3 rifles. Some discussion, but still no sound. It's going to be a long rotation if somebody holds the flank for Complexity. Oh, he sees so many players. They're all there, they're all there. And now it's Guardian at the bomb train. Oh my God, how's he got 2 kills out of that?
And lining up just finds that perfect angle. And now they'll go for the challenge to the sidewalk. Guardian gets himself another one. That is not good for Complexity. Down to 2 players. This round had to work. And they don't have really the ability to get the bomb planted because they have to keep these 2 players alive. And Nico's on the flank. This is disastrous. He executes death from the back. And now it's just nothing alone. And he's just surrounded. Nothing that much he can do. And that's 13-4. Complexity's force buy. It was a good idea, but did not work out. And this is why.
Second player in the red. Beautiful from Guardian. The 3rd frag as well. But, I mean, he was in that area when he got the first 2 frags. So the 3rd one was surprisingly free for him. But what a great hold of the B bomb site. 13-4. The force buy has failed for Complexity. Now we have Stanislaw dropping an AK for Rikke. He will have the Hero AK and the Kevlar. And the rest will have to play for worst case scenario, not buying much. Maybe this is spawn base, I don't know. Has a go. Flashed, has to fall back. Nothing doing. Faze looking very expectant towards A with 4 players, and now Guardian moves back towards B.
With a quick spot, only 1 though. Stan will force out an incendiary. Force him to waste it. Just the 1 AK. It's worked out though. The AK will get the kill. Rikke down to 45 though. The only player with Kevlar and a helmet. How much more value can they get from this? You can see now that Faze are pushing further forwards. This is a really good way to deal with a round like this from Faze. Just shut down those choke points, don't allow them to coordinate an attack. And you can see they're helpless against these rifles.
I think Nico spotted 1 player wrapping. Now he spotted both. They know the information Phase. 2 versus 3 versus these rifles. This is winnable now for Complexity. It gets better. Nothing with a kill. Rikke's got 2 so far. But who's got the bomb? It's Rain. And Rikke's going to have to go back for it. That's a massive shot from Rain. Really having a nice day. That leaves nothing with a very long rotation to get that bomb. He's going to have to run, which means he may just run into a bullet. Not much else he can do, really. Rain could be absolutely anywhere. There's really not much that Jordan could do in that situation. He has to run, has no choice. But great positioning from Faze. You can see the teamwork here. Comms, down he goes. 14-4. Faze 2 rounds away. And again, I looked at their stats, and even like in December, maybe November as well, the matches they won and lost, it was always a tight score. They're never winning by a big margin. So I think this is good for their confidence if they can close this out in such a fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the kind of result that they need. And we'll see the 4-buy here for Complexity, more or less. As close to a 4-buy as they can really get, reasonably, on the second half, all things considered. Ricky looking for that pick with the Krieg. Olofmeister over the smoke there, just setting up with a very nice off angle. Should be able to get this one. Easy kill against superior position for Olofmeister. Gets a second stand with the late trade attempt. Not going to pan out at all for Complexity.
Nice reaction Molotov. Not allowing Complexity to even suggest anything in that direction. There's one round E-box for Def, but 3 versus 5. Don't really have everything going for them. Stereo frag, though, for Complexity. This could turn around very quickly indeed. Big second frag for Def. How has this suddenly turned around like this? Nico, there's the first one. The trade continues, and now it's 2 versus 1 for Complexity. They are not out of this just yet, but Olofmeister, he's been sneaky. He's been brutal in his execution of these players, and he lurks around the A site. He could be anywhere. Such is the nature of Olofmeister. If Shazam walks through the train, his barrel will give his position away. Olofmeister heard him drop off. There he is, but Shazam with a crouch shot. Round number 5 for Complexity.
Fighting hard, fighting as best as they can. And with the start that Olofmeister had in that round, it's pretty surprising that they managed to have a recovery. It's great work out the smoke from Def to find those 2 kills to open up that bomb site. And now the money is gone for Faze, so Complexity can actually experience full rifles, full utility for the first time on this second half. And actually that says Shazam still actually can't buy full utility, but never mind. We'll see a default coming in from Complexity, sending 2 to Ivy, 1 towards inner, 1 to main. And you also have Def there by the dumpster, ready to throw any nades in towards that A-bomb site. And there's 4 there from Faze, stacking towards T main.
See if Faze can do any damage in this round. Maybe not. Not much health left on the final 2 players. Long road back for Complexity, but we saw Faze do it multiple times yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Just the 1 kill. Weapon looks too far away for now. But Shazam's the only person with the bomb, so I think it's more important he stick with his team rather than protect the weapon. So maybe we can raise the question if Rain can rotate that, can raise the alarm to his teammates, well, to Olofmeister, who will go and get the weapon, I believe. And Rain will flank, but again, don't know how much more Faze Clan will get out of this. Do they choose to save the weapon? Do they choose to do as much damage as possible to weaken the buys in future? Make it easier to win?
Yeah, Rain has some choices. He doesn't have to go too deep here. Oh, that is nasty. I was going to say he could try to set up for an exit kill, but that does the trick as well. Looking for the next one. Actually starts to get quite scary. Rain is obviously feeling it at the moment. He will get taken down, but he's done some good damage, and he's kept Olofmeister alive. It's like guaranteed now, I would say. I don't think there's really enough time to go and hunt him down, so Olofmeister will keep an AK-47 into the next round, which is always very nice on that CT side. And Complexity, though, 6 rounds for them. They keep 3 alive. And the comeback trail, it is a long, arduous journey, but at least it's begun.
Yeah, and those 2 kills they're good for Faze Clan. With 2 rounds to win, they may have a part to play in the story to come. But for Complexity, they need to keep this momentum 1 round at a time. Don't focus on 10 rounds, focus on 1 round 10 times, is what sports psychologists might say. Solid buy from Complexity, as you'd expect winning these rounds. Let's see what Guardian has. AWP, of course, no helmets needed for Faze Clan in a round such as this. Stands still with the Krieg, 100% armor penetration on that weapon. Nothing and Shazam moving towards Ivy, Adren and Guardian to welcome them. Oh, or maybe not. Nice shot from Nothing, and perhaps these AKs will take Complexity far.
Yes. It has been interesting. I think they made a great point on the desk yesterday about Complexity, that you had a lot of firepower in the youngsters, Android and Ye, that may have been taken away on this new look Complexity, but Nothing. He's been the guy that's been making these plays. Like, not afraid to go aggressive and try to open things up for the team. That's another stunner. And we'll see now if they can actually convert as they move towards inner. Do have Rain by Pop Dog, so that does threaten a fast flank, but there's no one ready to stop this push on the B-bomb side. It's just Olofmeister, and he's just used his Incendiary. He's going to fall back. And the rotation's still kind of far away.
It's worse than that. Adren's making a push through Ivy, so what do they even do in this situation? If Olaf goes down, it's got to be a save automatically. Rain and Nico still making a way to connector. And it's going to be a very long flank from Adren. He's basically in C-spawn. Nico's made his way through the smoke, so they're going to fish for something Faze in this 4 versus 5. And now with Nico getting taken out, do you continue? Rain backing off, Olofmeister backing off. Adren never even got there, it was so far away. So I think this is round number 7 for Complexity.
Yeah, Complexity completely out-rotated Faze there. That was a really big deal. It seemed like Faze had no info, or just didn't seem to have a call that they could make quickly enough. And, well, 7 rounds now for Complexity as Faze look to try to save these guns, and they look to be successful. Will be $2,400 for them now. So there's a world where they could buy around the AWP and M4. We'll see if they decide to do it, though. This was stunning. So nice.
Makes it look so easy.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Nothing. Currently 19 for 10. Trailing Rain 22 for 12. Guardian 19 for 11. Heavy hitters for their respective teams. But Faze can have double the score of their opponent. Guardian with the AWP. So again, this is a situation where he just wants to rip people apart and have his team capitalize. And he's heading towards the B-bomb site. So we need to look at Guardian here and see what he's up to. Oh, he was so close, even completely fully flashed, but he has escaped. Now the question is for Complexity, does Guardian stay there or does he rotate?
Rain almost got that one. Cheeky stuff. So 5 versus 4 with a very weakened Nothing. Olofmeister taking the 4 position outside, and at this point, Faze, you'd want them to make a call to stack somewhere. It's very difficult for them to get information because they have no utility. So stacking a site and just praying for the best is often going to be pretty good. Ooh, Guardian right out in the open there, and that's the orb gone. Nico will try to recover it, see if he can do it, but they can't really entertain a retake here. Can you find that AWP in the smoke? There it is. So, going for the no-scope attempt. Quite working out, looking to get away here, but he cannot escape.
Oh my God.
Nothing sprays him down.
11 HP, no fear. He knows that it's more important that they don't take the weapon away versus him dying and maybe giving up the AK. Really smart stuff from him, and that's the experience which you just can't replace, that Nothing brings to this team. He is so storied in the game of Counter-Strike that he doesn't need to think about these situations. He knows what the right decision is immediately and does things like that. Fantastic stuff from him. Taking about $10,000 away from FaZe Clan there, essentially.
Yeah, Nothing is definitely a play where you can see the experience for sure. I completely agree. There are some spots where you just have to make a play, even if it seems like it might be a bad play. Not this situation, but maybe, you know, when you have to go aggressive in some spots, you have to try to take that low percentage play, and it's the thing that could get your entire team going, and having the confidence behind it increases the likelihood that you'll be successful. Either way, we're back into it. 8 rounds for Complexity now, as FaZe have a full buy once again. Can Complexity keep this comeback going?
4 players will start on A for FaZe. Dren again getting curious towards Ivy, just solo pushing the thing on his own. Does he drop a smoke down like Complexity did, or does he do otherwise? They're going to go straight into the A bomb site. Flashes a high range, sees nothing, and he's gone. So is Nico. Now, we wonder, with a Guardian and Olofmeister at back trains, can Dren have an impact? No, he can't, because Shazam's waiting to cut that rotation off, and that should be the round 5 versus 2. Question of trying to save something. Guardian kills, but now they know where he is.
Oh! Oh, he's
shot
done
from
it.
nothing. Yeah, a lot of
Again.
cover. It's an awkward shot for Guardian to take, which is maybe why there was a delay there. Too much delay, though. Nothing ripped his dome off, and now Olofmeister will be hunted. Battle Royale. There's Def with a headshot of his own. Very important kill from Shazam of Adren rotating from Ivy towards main. Stops any potential for a round comeback for FaZe Clan.
You just love to see this from nothing. Definitely a player with one of the biggest brands in North America, and you can see why. Like, able to just step back into professional play, and yeah, there it is. 90 ADR from nothing. He's been playing very intelligently, and he's been connecting his shots at the same time. Nico struggling a bit so far here on Train. Obviously on this CT side, just as Complexity were having difficulties getting it going now, it appears the same story for FaZe. Stuck in that cycle of pistols and then rifles every so often.
Tactical timeout from FaZe Clan at present, as you can see on your screens. Yanko was just doing some talking. Now the countdown has begun. It is a pistol round for FaZe. CZs, a Deagle, some P250s. Maybe we will see the odd HE as well. They can also use this to discuss what is to come, as Complexity are now just 5 rounds behind their opponent. A comeback all of their own. And I think Reyna's cooled off in their second half, so perhaps another FaZe Clan member needs to pick up the slack in that respect. Needs to get that AWP popping for sure. Oh dear, what's going on here? 2 pistol kills very quickly indeed. Can they pick up some weapons? Very patient shot from Nico. We're down to a 2 versus 2. And surely Complexity have no idea where these last 2 players are.
However, with no rifles and no one-shot potential, it's definitely going to help to favor Complexity. But here comes the dive from Olofmeister. That's a smart play. Guardian gets out there as well. Gets himself an AWP. Oh, he tries to go for it. It's close, but nothing shuts it down. That was scary. Very scary indeed, but nothing. He stands true for Complexity once again. 25 for 10, actually.
Complexity have tons of money, so the economy isn't an issue at the moment, but that has got to be a big scare for Complexity, a big scare indeed. But it's over. They managed it. So important. It's hard not to favor Guardian. Any 1 versus 1 if he's got an AWP, it really is. But nothing was ready for it. Had an advantage as well because Guardian was closer to the train. 4 rounds between the 2 sides. 2 AWPs, FaZe Clan. Early flashbangs, but no early charge into A for Complexity. 2 players moving towards Ivy. Initial map control. There is a deep smoke towards the B bomb site, which is going to delay Rikke. And Nico's having a look down Ivy. He has some nice angles that he holds on the CT side here, and some nice pop flashes as well.
Waiting, ready to pounce this setup here from Nico and Adren. Not to be stopped by the smoke. Ooh, that's not a nice start there for Nico. Pushed back, but they have no idea about Adren. The setup works as Stanislaw goes down. And Ivy, so far, completely unsuccessful. Nothing will still try to force the issue, though. Pushing forward behind the smoke. Adren goes behind it, still gets the kill somehow.
Free to check that corner. It was a bait. That paid off very well for FaZe Clan and gets even better now. Looking to move to 15 rounds. Rain in an unusual angle. Guardian holding his right-hand side down. So nice team play, but Shazam, how does he get that one out? It's been taken out in the meantime, but things are starting to change. Suddenly it's a 2 versus 2. All the players on the A side, Olofmeister and Connector. They know he's rotating. They should know he's a B player. But where is he coming from? Def creeping around main. Don't know if he just saw some of Olofmeister there. Either way, they know where he is now. 17 seconds, Olofmeister can just hide. The bomb has to get planted as far as Def's concerned with 30 HP. And he's going to peek closer to the train. If he moves wide, it's a free kill for Olofmeister. Jumping up, Def's seen him now. He's going to go for the frag. Oh! Massive headshot from Def. He took a risk with the jump. Olofmeister didn't see him, and he has saved Complexity.
Wow. I thought Olofmeister took just such a strong position. You got to go deep to try to find him. You got to commit to the frag, but Def, what focus and composure there from him. Brilliant round. You can see him just rattling off the shots there with the AK-47. Gets the quad kill. That is fantastic from him. And that keeps Complexity in this. They are stepping up here, James. Clutches left and right now.
That was unbelievable. So much advantage for Olofmeister in that situation. Another tactical timeout from FaZe Clan. That jump from Def was everything How much was that worth? Maybe an entire map. 3 rounds behind now. Can FaZe keep their nerve? They were the ones doing the comebacks yesterday.
Flashbang dance, let's go.
One of the most awesome guys in our community, has to be said. 25 kills for nothing now. 25 and 11. Nothing's playing matchmaking.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job, and Complexity really proving no matter how bad it looks, you can always save it in Counter-Strike if you're not out of it. There's always a chance. Ricky forcing his way forwards, but it's Def to get the kills once again, as there's only 2 players left in this explosive round from Complexity. FaZe unable to offer too much with those pistols. Nade's doing yet more damage still, picking up all those eco kills. Is Def. Olofmeister once again left on his lonesome, looking to steal a gun away into the next round. That would really be the best case for him.
I think it's reasonable to say that FaZe Clan are in a transitional period at the moment, so you have to bear that in mind. But if they, let's say they lose this map, considering they made 2 comebacks yesterday but still lost those maps, and then had a massive lead and lost that by comeback today, that's just got to be so frustrating, regardless of if you're in a transitional period or not. Going into a second map, that would be a really bad way to start the day after a monstrous lead. Love trying to get something, but he's got a lot to save. He's carrying a lot with his armor, the kit, the smoke, the CZ. 2 rounds. Only 2 rounds between these 2 teams now. After an 11-4 start, with the pistol, FaZe Clan have only mustered 3 rounds in this half. So if you ignore the pistol round, it's basically 1 round that they've had in this half. And it's all Complexity, nothing but momentum for the Complexity brand, for nothing, 25 and 11.
Yeah, looking pretty electric at the moment, that's for sure, Complexity. The double ops could make the difference, though. We haven't really seen Olofmeister picking it up. And there will be a different approach here. Not putting so much attention on Ivy this time for FaZe, just leaving a Dren to look after it. His job is just to slow down any players trying to take this position. It's kind of a hard spot when you're playing Ivy solo like this. It's pretty difficult because you need to get info. You've got to go for the peak sometimes, but you can't die. You just cannot die. That's what Dren is tasked with at the moment, slowing them down. Nothing's going to push forward. The smoke! That's a big peek from a Dren. That is very well done.
Olof is playing B on his own at the moment. Ricky and Shazam are creeping into the B bomb site. Olof's had 2 jobs. He's looking lower and looking upper, up and down the ladder, going back and forth, back and forth. So again, it may be a swarm situation. And even if he sees someone, is he going to be in position to shoot them with the AWP if he's on the ladder, for example? Nice timing with the incendiary, some sixth sense, but again, it's a big rotation for his teammates. Guardian starting to move now, things get quiet. Stanislaw offering something towards the A bomb site, but nothing doing there. And now Olofmeister can hold high. That's a huge frag though from Def. Again, he's stepping up now for his team.
Yeah, trying to be safe here as he approaches forwards, using the cover of the oil train as he looks to the next headshot. But Guardian is with that AWP, and it's quite a strong advantage. Now Shazam, the one to try to make this work. Against 4 though, and Guardian has a great position, anticipates the peak, and is ready. 15 now for FaZe. Have they done it? Have they stopped Complexity? 1 more round is all that's needed to close down Train.
Bags of cash for Complexity, but now no more margin for error. FaZe had 4 in A for the longest time, weren't sold by the fake of Stanislaw. If Stanislaw gets a pick in A there instead, then who knows what happens, but that wasn't the case. Dren's aggression has been a problem around that IV area. Now we've got a tactical timeout from Complexity. How can they change the pace? What have FaZe been doing? How have they adjusted? It will continue to be 2 snipers for FaZe, of course, and just the 1 for Complexity. Nothing looking pretty calm, pretty focused.
Yeah, so far I have to say they've been very measured. No matter what has really been going on in the game, Complexity have looked very, very measured, and I really appreciate that. I think it's paid off so very well, because even, I mean, again, if we look at the first half of this game before the comeback really started, it looked horrible for Complexity, yet they stayed the same as they look now, and there's a lot to be said for that. Oh my god.
I never want to see Edo's face like this again. Please make it stop. 3 more rounds for Complexity. They need 100% success rate here, and that's a great shot. Shazam can tell his teammates go straight down as a pop dog as well. No one's there. Very important frag. Nico now holding an angle, and then Dren is just holding down the Ivy position again. He's been a problem, and he will be so even more. They're all falling down now like dominoes. Shazam, 8 HP versus 4 players. The barrel will concede his position. Misses the shot. That's surely it. Indeed it is. That's the game for FaZe. 1-0. They take Train over Complexity.
A 16-12 win is pretty big for FaZe, especially how they started it. But for Complexity, great comeback. We saw Death coming to life. We saw nothing, just holding them up the entire time. Going into the next map, for me, that is so positive for Complexity, and they've got a lot to be proud of what happened in that match. So I'm very excited for what we have to come. And speaking of which, it's time to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the thoughts of the desk.